Oh crap, I forgot to send somebody the...
All right. Hey, everyone. We are live here on our podcast. And today you can see we've got a special guest. We're talking all about Google My Business, if I can even say that, or otherwise known now as Google Business Profile. So, Ian, what are you most looking forward to hearing from Tami today?
Anything that comes out of her mouth. So the thing that Tami is one of those people that had learned a lot about this platform and then just ran with it and has turned her business, like she gets so much business just from this for free that it's worth every realtor trying to understand and listen to how it works, because it's a tool that's out there. And all of us know that we're using Google to look for everything else. So why don't we focus on it for our business? So Tami is going to she's going to light it up as always. I've had the pleasure of knowing her for a few years and seeing this type of presentation. So I'm excited for y'all. Wired for Real Estate podcast, the show that's all about empowering agents with the latest tech, tools, and tactics to take your business to the next level. If you're a producing agent who's looking to boost your productivity and enhance your marketing effectiveness, you're in the right place.
Join us as we explore the cutting-edge strategies and insights that are shaping the real estate industry today. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, our expert guests and hosts will share valuable tips and practical advice to help you succeed.
So sit back, tune in, and get ready to elevate your real estate game with the Wired for Real Estate podcast.
All right. So, yay. I can't wait to hear from Tami also, because we were talking a little bit before about how many deals she's done already this year just from Google. And it's substantial. 17 closed transactions, just around over 6 million in volume. Right, Tami?
So it's the number of transactions, but over the last 12 months.
Okay, 12 months. But still,
Yes.
That's a lot just from Google. She doesn't obviously work just in Google. So Rockstar is going to talk to us. And we also, of course, as in every episode, we use ChatGPT to ask the same question and then see if it's correct or if it's not correct. So one of the first questions I wanted to ask Tami was, how, as a realtor, can you rank the best? Because she went from not using this at all to learning it, using it, and ranking and to the point where she's got all this organic business. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT, and then she can let us know if that's what she did or if it's not what she did. So I'm just going to say, I'll bring it up on the screen here. Is there a wording that you guys have specifically that I should do?
I think just saying something like, how do you rank on Google My Business? Or how do you rank on Google? What do you think, Tami? You're the expert here.
I think let's give how do you rank organically on Google as a realtor?
I love it. I'm trying to learn how to be a better prompt engineer, because I think as you get better with the prompts, the results end up being better as well.
I'm trying to Google My Business because this thing started in 2021.
Right. That's a good point.
So they might not understand what Google Business Profile is. Mm-hmm. So for those that are listening and not watching, we just asked, how do you rank organically successfully as, I think I just wrote that really weird, but anyways, it understood me as a realtor on Google My Business. Ranking organically as a realtor on GMB requires implementing effective local SEO strategies. Here are some strategies you can take to improve your ranking. Optimize your profile. Make sure it's complete and accurate. So that's business name, address, phone number, URL, compelling description. Choose relevant categories, obtain positive reviews, localize your website, build backlinks, publish relevant content. Oh my gosh, it keeps going. Optimize on blah, blah, blah. It has more. So Tami, tell me, is this stuff you've done, or what was it that you did?
Well, so far, the first couple of answers, I believe, are 100% accurate. You need to make sure that when you're building your profile, that you include all the relevant information, your address. Having an address is essential. to rank higher. You can set up as service areas as well, but those who have a local physical address will tend to rank higher. Making sure you fill out your complete short description for your business on there. It gives you the opportunity to include a lot of keywords, and those keywords will help push your profile into people's searches. When it talks about choosing go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just going to stop you for a second. You talked about a local physical address. So a lot of realtors now who are in cloud brokerages, what is your recommendation there? Because I don't want to put my home address for safety.
Right. And they really don't, a lot of people who are trying to use home addresses, their accounts are being suspended in record numbers. So if you don't have, post offices, PO boxes as well. You can get a virtual address, shared work, somewhere where they have a shared working space, or just strictly a virtual address. I know some people who have gone to a local business owner and have gotten permission to use their physical address as their office address.
That's interesting, because the address that we have here in our city that our brokerage uses, the old place, the new place, I don't even know how it works. They gave us, sometimes they mail you that code that you have to verify sometimes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
She was holding the rest of them captive. She said, you guys can't just all do this. When there was less than 10 of you, it was okay, but now I don't want to give it to you. So she wouldn't let us use it.
There was an issue some years back, and Tami, you have to let me know if this is still the thing, but if people were using the same address, they were saying, hey, I'm at this address, I'm at this address, I'm at this address. What it would do is it would overwrite one of the other people's address. And so it became a logistical nightmare for people.
It does, especially if you can't break it up by suite number.
Suites, yeah.
Right?
But people didn't know, because they were like, I got to have an address. And they would just put in the same address. They wouldn't think suites or letters or anything like that. They would just do it and screw it up for everyone else. Yeah.
So you do have many businesses that use the same physical address, but here lately I'm finding that if you don't put a suite number in there, then like Mark had his account suspended because he was using the same physical address, but we separated it by suite numbers. When we filed the appeal, my argument was, we're in the age of co-working spaces, right? He legitimately got a different suite number. Mind you, I made it up. But we should be allowed to use the same physical address and designate different suites, because, hey, co-working happens more often than not. Big brokerages use the same physical address, and people have been utilizing their profiles for a long time. It took us about a month and a half to get his account back, but we were successful.
Yeah, that's a bit of a pain, because my old brokerage, there was probably 90 some of us, and not everyone obviously had a Google profile, but I was able to get on there, and there was lots of different realtors on there. So that's something I just wanted to ask you if you knew, because someone also told me you don't need to have a physical address. You could just use service areas and you'll be fine. But like you're saying, you're ranking better if you actually have a location.
Yes, 100%. If you have a physical location, you'll rank better than those who don't have physical addresses. They can set up as service areas and can put up to 20 of those service areas in. One thing that I want to touch on, when everyone is using the same address, you start to water down the location authority for each individual. Right? Unless you're doing what I'm doing, and I'm like, I post anywhere from 8 to 10 updates a day. I work So I work.
That's a lot, but it's no different than people are doing on like all their other
Facebook
social platforms,
or whatever stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, she's not doing TikTok, she's doing Google. I think I'd rather take Tammy's route.
Well, I don't know. I see Tami. Tammy's all over the place, but yeah, she prioritizes Google.
Yes.
Correct.
So what about, so like you talked about the categories. That's like that's in the same profile stage.
Right. So when you're selecting categories as a business, I've always been told the best thing to select for the first category is real estate agency.
Oh, show hers.
Yeah. When we're talking, because categories, that's kind of tactical. So we want to make sure that people see what she's referring to when she says categories.
She can just keep talking and I will.
Yeah. So you want to select real estate agency as your main category. And then when you choose subcategories, you can put real estate agent, real estate consultant.
I'm in Canada, so I don't know if this is going to make a difference, but you should be here, right?
So go back up to the top and type in Tami Price. It came up, but you overlooked Tami Price Properties Group. You see how it just popped up there?
Yeah.
There you go. So when you're looking at categories, again, you want to select real estate agency first.
Right here.
You see how it shows there, and then your subcategories would be real estate agent and real estate consultant.
Okay. So prefer to do real estate agency over real estate agent as the first one.
Right. It has the tendency to help you rank better.
Okay. And then what else did ChatGPT say? I know I just moved it to another screen. The reviews. Everyone knows the reviews. Yeah.
Yes. Reviews are sort of the bane of my existence because Google has the tendency to suppress reviews, but reviews have a really, really good power to help you rank higher in search results, not only because of the reviews themselves, but the opportunity you have to also get keyword rich in your responses to those reviews.
So can you tell us a little bit more about, one, you talked about suppressing the reviews. That's a conversation, because I've actually had that. People will give me a review and then it doesn't even show up. They screenshot the review and then it doesn't come up at all. That's more than one.
Oh, I have several of them. With Google, I think it always fears that someone's trying to game the system. So if you're getting more than a couple of reviews at a time, it may hide them. It may also hide reviews if they're coming from individuals who didn't have Google accounts prior to, and they created one to give you a Google review. One of the things that you can do to get those reviews unhidden is to start a support ticket with Google, and they'll come back and they'll say, hey, well, the review might have contained information that violates our policy. And when you get that email from them, that's the opportunity for you to provide the screenshots of those missing reviews. I've had several of them restored within a couple of days.
How did you start the ticket? I have never known how to do that.
So in your profile, you can you can go to help or contact us, and you walk through some certain steps.
I'm going to bring up mine since I logged into here. So would you go into here?
There's Q&A.
No, that's Q&A for the profile.
Q&A is where you can, yeah. So funny. I have to drive. Isn't that funny? I'm lost when I'm not driving.
You can drive.
Okay. No. We're good. Gosh,
you can share your screen and then I'll put your screen on here.
No,
just make sure you close all those tabs nobody can see before you share your screen.
No, we're good. Oh gosh, I want to say when you're in there it's not to edit profile. I'm drawing a blank right now.
Okay, but there is a place. Oh,
There you
here,
go.
this one.
Your help and
Help and
support. There you
support.
go.
Yeah. So the 3 little dots here,
3 little dots. Yes.
help and support. Okay.
And I just want to mention for those of you that haven't gone in a while, if you've had a business Google My Business account, now you'll notice that it's all integrated and it doesn't have like its own website anymore. It has this little dashboard on your Google
Right. 'Cause
homepage.
that's just Google still.
Yep.
Right. Now they allow you to manage your profile on search and Google Maps. So instead of having like the old Google My Business app, you just type in the name of your business, it'll pull it up on search, and you'll see you'll have that ability to edit your profile, add updates, add, change photos, etc.
So let's go through your, because I know they keep talking about all these things, but let's just take a look at what you do. So they can set appointments up. So if they don't have that set up, that's a simple click of a button. Do you get lots of links or clicks that way?
I have had several people drop in there and schedule appointments with me.
Okay. So worthwhile having
Before
there.
ever-
And then,
Yeah, before ever reaching out to me. So I
Yeah,
find it beneficial.
and then you have products. Let's see what, you're a realtor. What products would you have?
I love that. Look
I
look
love
how
this.
clean
Buying a
that is.
home.
She even created a nice little thumbnail for her products. Wow. Wow.
Home for sale, real estate careers, real
Well,
estate.
because how many people, including myself, like how many people would just say, I'll help you search for a home, but then it's just a picture of a home. There's like no
Here's
clear
mine.
text, no thumbnail.
I just have the house. I didn't do what she did. So definitely I'm going to be changing that so that I have this. So when they click here, this goes to, it goes to a website.
Yep. So what I did is I created a bunch of little, what I consider like microsites. I have search for a home in San Antonio, right? And then I have search for a home in Cibolo, Texas, or Mico, Texas, and put a landing page in there. But also when you click on those ones, it's going to give you brief information about the city, right? We're on Google. You want every opportunity to be able to rank for any given area that you service. And so the way that I decided to do that was to create these little micro sites that give descriptions.
Are they landing pages in Chime?
Yes. So on my website, I have search for homes, and then I have different cities, the little surrounding cities on here. And so when they click on that link, it takes them just to those homes that are listed in those particular cities. So I use that link to put that on there. So yeah.
Like these right here.
Yeah. So if you go to, I think it's the home, go to the home page.
This homepage?
Yes. So if you scroll down, you're going to see a map at some point. I think it's further down. Look at that cheesy smile. Featured areas. So on my site, I have featured areas, right? So I grab those links and put those as products on my Google Business profile.
Nice.
But also just include a brief description of those little cities so that I can just double down on SEO.
And that's you put that into your Google product section.
Product section, yeah.
Is it hidden from me? I don't see it.
I don't know why it's not. Here we go. There we go. Homes for sale.
Oh, here. Yes, here, this section.
So homes for sale in Castroville. If you clicked on either one of those, it's going to give you a brief description of the city.
Is this like ChatGPT, or did you actually?
I was going to say it could be. I don't think it is, but it could be.
No, it's not. Do you want to give away all my secrets? No, I just went to the city. I went to city websites and grabbed information they had on those city websites, so I can include them in there.
Well,
And then that way,
like you could take that information. So from the city website, you could take the information and go into Chat GPT and say, hey, re-summarize this for me.
right.
Make it X number of words and then make it sound like Tami Price because she probably has a lot of information on the internet already.
You could also ask it to keyword load it too.
Yeah, and SEO optimized for millennials or for whoever your target demographic is.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Well, that's awesome. That's a great idea. And then underneath, you've got explore categories. So these are the categories that you've created, different than the categories we talked about here. That real estate agent.
So those categories are specific to the products.
Oh, okay.
So those are going to come up under the products because they're specific to the categories that I've set under the products heading.
Yeah.
Tami, do you have any kind of information or insights onto what types of things are being clicked more? Right. So what I mean by that is like looking at the category, like is a specific category being clicked more or is a specific link being clicked more?
So when they took away used to be when it was Google My Business, they had some wonderful insights that you could see. It's not the same anymore. We do not get the same level of insights that we used to. So I don't know who's clicking what links. I just know when they go to Google from Google to my website.
Okay. Well, at least it's some analytics.
Yeah.
And then I see here you have 52 questions. I do not have 52 questions.
Did you write any of those?
Questions and answers section is like an overlooked part of a Google profile. This is an opportunity for you to get in there, get highly keyworded, asking your business the question that you're providing the answer to, right? So I think of terms or questions that I get from consumers and I throw them in there, right? 2-1 buy down was like the topic for a little bit. So, you'll see some questions on there for that. And then you just have the opportunity to give your response and keyword it to real estate.
I also just thought of ChatGPT. What are the most 10 compelling questions a first-time home buyer would ask when buying a house in San Antonio, Texas?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And this is all before ChatGPT. So
yeah. But now no one has excuses because you could literally, and I think too, like you can say, please provide the answer. And then you yourself go, no, that's not right. I'm going to change it to my tone. Or you can have no answers and you can just answer the questions that it prompts you. Right. So no, this is awesome. 52. So do you post the question like once a day or do you throw them all in at once?
I did mine over time.
Okay.
Over time. Yeah. I don't think I've had a question in there recently.
Has anyone actually asked you a question that you didn't ask?
Nope.
Yeah. I wonder if people, cause I don't ask questions on Google.
I don't either.
That's interesting. You say that. I used to ask all the questions. I would just ask people. In fact, now I need to do that. I need to go on both of your profiles and ask you questions.
Like obviously it's good for yeah. Well, so for my not for my realtor one, but for my coaching one, I had issues with the website. So then I asked myself the question, what is your website? So that I can at least have my website somewhere as a workaround.
Right.
But no, I really like this. So this is a good, if people aren't doing, I'm sure most people don't even have Q&A or their profile set up. So that's a good one.
Right.
And then what was the other? You got the reviews. What does this send to your phone? The location?
So you can send if you're on here, you can send the information for my business to your phone.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. And then this one, this is these are, oh no, this is a post.
That's your
Description?
Brief description. short business description.
And then these are your posts that you do.
Those are my updates. Yes, ma'am.
Updates. Google
So
updates.
this
Look
is
at 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago.
This is where you can get super spammy. If you were doing the number of updates that I do a day, let's say on Facebook, right?
Mhm.
I'd be unfollowed in a heartbeat. But on Google, no one's sitting there and looking at it as a news feed. So I like to say you can go in here, be highly keyworded, talk about buying, selling, investing, whatever it is, over and over and over and over again to build that SEO content up for you, and just get super spammy with it.
And you always have a photo. Is that strategic, or can you put stuff with no photos, or what do you?
You can do just your basic update without a photo. Updates with photos garner more attention, so I do my updates with photos.
Okay.
It even says pick for attention. All the time. I see that all the time.
Yep.
So I noticed that you have call now. Why
Yep.
do you have call now versus visit my site or something else?
Because I get more calls from Google than when I put call now. There are some where I'll like, I did one yesterday for a new listing. I put their listing landing page.
Well, I think that this makes sense.
But you
'cause she's
have
got
several
call now
options. You
too.
can drop in your calendar link and do book now.
Yeah. Well, you've got that over here, right? Like under your products, you've got visit the site. Under the updates, she's got call now.
Right.
And then there's a Calendly link at the very top. So there are different ones. I do think that makes sense to do this.
Right.
And then this is profile. So can you put Instagram and like everything here, or just Facebook?
So it used to be Facebook, Instagram, and my barely used YouTube channel were there. Google is selective on how it pulls in information from outside sources. The best thing that you can do is have your social links on your website, because Google is supposed to pull that information from there. It used to pull the information. Right. There's some way where you can build in schema data. Don't ask me anything about it. I know it's possible, but even getting the camera resolution on my computer this morning was above my tech knowledge. So
well, and that's what ChatGPT was talking about, this like backlinks. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Ian.
Oh, so like a great example of a backlink is if you're, and then this is kind of bad, but like, let's say you're on any news article site. I'll give a great example. Inman. Let's say Inman has a news article out and they're talking about something that is very appropriate for your area, like San Antonio, right? Let's say they're talking about home prices in San Antonio on Inman News. Inman News is a magazine for real estate agents. If you don't know, get involved. It's really cool. So if you're in there, Inman, they have a little comments section, just like YouTube, just like Facebook walls, just like any of these other places. And so if you see that article, you can say, you know what, I just talked about that. And you can actually link whatever you were talking about from your Google profile into Inman or vice versa. Anytime there is a link that pulls you from one place to another, the goal is that it's taking you back to your Google My Business profile or back to whatever thing that it is you want them to see. So that's why they call them backlinks. It's like, hey, no, come check out my profile. I already wrote about this. I already had a post about this. I already had a video about this.
Oh, that's Tami. We're losing Tami.
So
I'm curious when you talk about the backlink. So you're saying if I'm on Facebook,
yes,
and I put a link to my Google profile, that's
Yes.
a backlink.
That is because
Okay.
now Google is like, listen, everybody's putting these links to your profile.
See, I thought they didn't like. So, for example, getting a review,
Yes.
I thought that they didn't like that because you send that link. But it's weird because
Well,
they give you the link to
a
get
review is different. A review is a self-promotion. A review is a self-promotion, but backlinks increase the web of connectivity and information, and Google is all about getting the data. And so if you backlink in a YouTube video to a comment or something like that, like let's say Tami did a YouTube video on how to protest your property taxes, and then she or someone talks about it on Google My Business or their Google Business, and then they link to her video, like that connectivity is what Google wants.
Okay.
It's like how many places are referencing Tami's profile or Tami's stuff?
Right. And you could be referencing your own stuff just on your other channel.
You could, but it's quirky, right? That's narcissistic. It's
Isn't
right. That's
that
what
our
it is.
society right now, Ian.
I'm just saying you can put I can put everything together. That's great. But if I like the power would be is if Tami shared something that I posted on my Google My Business profile.
Right.
Oh, that's game changing.
Right. Okay.
You used to have services that would just do that. There were people on Fiverr that would be a full-time job for them, 6-figure income, and they would just create backlinks all over the internet.
Interesting.
It's nasty.
Do you have backlinks, Tami?
I don't use them frequently, no. That's why I let Ian answer.
I asked because you're very successful on Google. So obviously you don't have to have backlinks to be successful. That's what kind of the point I was getting at.
Well, I think backlinks are less organic unless it's from somebody you don't know, like you didn't have a relationship with. And Google and Tami, her success lies in how organic everything she is. Like everything she does is.
Let's talk about the organic stuff a little bit more. Tami, what else do you do to increase your organic reach?
Geotag photos, and a lot of them. I have over 13,000 photos that are on my profile, right? Doing updates consistently, geotagging the photos that you include with those updates, your services. Get in there and expand on your services. You can write a description about your services. That's another opportunity to get highly keyworded, right? Reviews, products, services, and photos, geotag photos, to me are the main sources. I think that Google pushes me into so many people's searches. Yes, I mean, if you clicked on those updates, it's all about Tami Price, buying or selling, real estate. I went from speaking in the first person to speaking in the third person and using my name over and over again.
Right. What was your thought process on that? Why you went to using your
from
first person to third person?
Name recognition, right? Tami Price, Realtor, real estate agent. Instead of just saying, "Hey, call me," call Tami Price.
So this is interesting. This is an interesting strategy because Google, what you've been sharing is very much, you're actually allowed to be, like you called it, spammy, salesy, whatever you want, because it wants you to be, versus, for example, on my YouTube channel, I don't say I'm Melody Wilson, Realtor, buy with me, but people call me because I have to give education and whatnot first, and then they contact me because of that. But yet Google Business Profiles has a very different spin to it. And I think realtors are not the greatest necessarily at giving out content for value's sake. And so, look, you have a platform to actually use and be able to do all those things. Tami, I was going to ask you, when did you start on your Google Business Profile? And then when did you start seeing success? Was it like 30 days in, a year out? How did that work?
So I had a profile, but I never did anything with it, right? October 21, I went to Tom Ferry's summit, right, in Dallas. Jason Pantana got up on the stage and he was talking about Google business profiles. And I'm like, or Google My Business. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, sounds so interesting. But when you go to these big events, they speak at a high level, tell you should be doing X, Y, Z, but don't really tell you how to do it. So I made it my mission that when I came back, I was like, I don't want to be on video. I don't want to do videos. This is something that I can implement in my business. And so I kind of did a deep dive, and I want to say so that was October, first 2 weeks in October. I started really working on it the last week or two of October. Literally, I'm in the office early December, and I'm packing up to leave for the day. And someone showed up at the front desk looking for me, and came to be that
wow, it was a game in real life.
I don't know what he put in, but he was looking for a realtor near him, and Google pulled me up. He walked from his apartment to my office, and I just happened to still be there after 5. And I did an impromptu buyer's consultation right then and there. And I sold him a home in January.
See,
Wow.
I love that. But that instant gratification is what made you believe. And there's so many people that are listening to this right now, and they'll hear your story and they'll say, yeah, but what about me? Like, how long will it take me?
That's why I wanted to ask Tami, like, how long did it take? Did you, when you started at the end of October, did you start with the 8 posts a day, or did you just start smaller?
No, because you got to remember, I didn't understand anything. I'll tell you what I did. I went back. Oh, gosh. I went back because all I understood at first was I needed to geotag photos, right? So I went back and started geotagging a listing a day that I previously had. So I went all the way back to 2016 and geotagged photos. I really didn't understand the updates section just yet. Okay. So first it was geotagging photos and writing a business description. I would haphazardly do an update every now and again. And my second client came from someone who was stationed in Germany, and they found me on Google, right? Then within the, let's see, January, February, March, I had at least 5 closings directly sourced from starting on Google.
And starting wasn't 8 posts a day. It was just cleaning up your profile and doing geotag photos.
So how much of that is from the posting versus something like identifying as a veteran-owned business?
Right. So when you also get to pick some attributes when you are building out your profile. So of course, I put veteran-owned, woman-owned, Black-owned. I put Latino-owned as well because I'm
both,
Black and Mexican. But
man,
Google,
I need to mix some stuff up.
Google will kick back one of those. So I'm either Black or I'm Latino. So I stay as Black-owned.
Google's not very inclusive, eh?
It's not very inclusive, right? And so selecting things like LGBTQ friendly, all those attributes play a huge part in it, because when they see that I'm veteran owned, military likes to work with military to a certain extent. African Americans like to work with African Americans, right? I literally, they'll call and they say, well, the reason I'm reaching out to you is, right? And so I know that
you.
Oh, I get that a lot.
I actually had someone.
And maybe see, you guys are in the US and I'm in Canada. When people reach out to me from YouTube, they're not Caucasian. We're doing a Zoom consult. They never say it. but they always ask me about things I don't think they would ask someone who was not of color. They say, because they're like, what kind of people are in this area? Like, but they would never ask somebody that was.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
But
I've actually had someone choose not to work with me because I have Black owned on there and my assistant is Caucasian. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen all sorts of fun stuff.
That's a whole nother conversation.
But you know what? The thing about that is, I actually really like that, because what you're doing is now you're niching down your tribe of people that will appreciate all that you bring to the table. And I used to think about it like, well, I'm mad that you would be that way. But now it's like, you know what? Fine. You know what? I have preference. Everybody's got a preference in their mind for whatever it is, who they like to work with. Like, I don't want to work with jerks. If that was a selection, that was a criteria selection, I would say no jerks, please.
There is limits on categories. I kind of wish they had a little bit more, because they don't cover everything, right?
No.
And I do find it interesting because you guys have rules where you can't market yourself as a family friendly, whatever. Whereas I'm allowed to. We
can't say walking distance. We can't say all sorts of
stuff. That's super weird. But we can say that, but we also don't have half the stuff you guys have either. So at least we got something that we can utilize. But it's interesting because it's interesting how they choose what the attributes are. They don't really give us a whole lot of choice of attributes. Like you said, you are both Black and Mexican. Why can't you put both, right? Like, it's kind of annoying. But
porque no los dos.
No, ambos. I think what ends up happening is Google, you have a lot of people that will, I'll say, game the system or try to game the system. So I could see that. But the other part is Google is notorious. I love Google. I'm an Android guy through and through, even though I just switched to iPhone. But
iPhone.
Google is notorious for you creating something and then getting rid of it. It's really important, right? Like, they had a social media network. They had all these other things. They have a phone plan. They have Google Fiber. Like, they would create something. They would see if it works. It was a project. And then if it didn't make enough money or didn't work for their advertising goals, then they would shelve it. And so I feel like Google My Business, they've been playing with it a lot. I'm really a little worried about it, right?
They changed the name,
but they've merged it into Maps, and I think it's because, like Tami was saying, a lot of people don't use it. They don't know about it, even though it's a free tool. So they're like, let's just put it in Maps. Everyone uses Google Maps,
right?
But nobody knows what the heck Google Business Profile is.
Exactly, and so now they're like, listen, if you're in Maps or if you're on Google, we're just going to shove it in your face, and now you'll know about it.
Right.
That's their way to trump Yelp.
So actually, speaking of which, this is along the same topics. So Google is doing well with this because Bing is trying to take over Google. My coach said to me, if you don't have a Bing profile, you should set one up, because Bing is actually going to be standard on all the PC devices that are being uploaded.
Oh, it's been that way. Bing has been the default for any Windows PC. Anytime you bought Microsoft Windows, Bing was the default.
And they say, people will say, I'm Googling, but Google has become synonymous like Kleenex. Kleenex is not Kleenex. It's a brand, but that's what they're saying with Google, right? Like, you're like, you didn't Google that. That was Bing, not Google. So
they have the early adopter advantage. But what's fun is if you're on Bing and you type Google, it'll still recommend Bing as an ad, and to install the Microsoft browser and make Bing your default. They're trying to take over. Yeah, they have been forever.
I think it's also going to be on these iPhones, I think is what I heard as well, is that Bing was going to be on Safari.
Well, that's because Apple doesn't like Google a whole lot, and Chrome was the number one browser, and it's all political, because even even Chrome and Safari are actually the same thing with a different skin. They're like really close to the same thing.
Tami, do you have a Bing profile?
Good question, Tami.
I have about 60 profiles, and I couldn't tell you everywhere they are. I think it's let's see, Bing, Yelp, Yahoo, there's a number of them. So at one point, I worked with this one company and they set me up 60 profiles, right? I used to have access to see all those profiles, but since I terminated that agreement, I don't really know where all those profiles are or
Was
how
it
to get to
was
them.
it Yext? Was that the
No,
program you're using?
No, it was Bulletproof Real Estate Agents.
So they just
And see,
create profiles for you, and then now you have no clue where they are. So being
Right.
then to that whole concept is obviously you're not working it like Google. Like Google, you're putting updates and you're putting geotagged photos. You can't do that then on Bing, I'm assuming.
I wouldn't know.
I just
Bing comes up
linked
and I'm
it, I
like,
think it is.
give me back my Chrome.
Chrome does cause my computers, my older ones, to crash quite a bit because there's like so much running on it. But I
Right.
always want to use Chrome. I love
know
my
this
Macs and I love my Chromes.
I know this isn't the forum, but Chrome, it's because of the extensions.
Yes.
So you can add in all these different extensions and it slows down and it just takes up memory from your computer. So if you get rid of a lot of the extensions, it runs perfectly.
But that's what I like about Chrome is
I
that
know.
the extension. I
I
wonder if
know.
there's a Google My Business profile extension.
That's a good question. So I just shared in the comments for anybody watching and listening and wanting to go back later that you have Bing Places is the similar thing to Google My Business. So you can go in.
Google
Places.
Business profile.
Sorry. Yeah, I'll never change. I'm still getting Kleenex and Googling things. So
So Tami, what is one thing if a realtor is watching this, they haven't started their profile, or maybe they have it and they've got some random reviews. I think that's most of us. We know to get reviews and put it on there. What would you
Right.
first thing you'd recommend them to do to optimize their their profile?
Lord, you want me to pick just one?
Three. I just want to make it simple so people have something
Yes.
to do.
Okay. Write an optimized short business description.
Okay.
Yep. Geotag photos. I can only do 3. Create products that link back to your website would be my third one.
Okay.
And then
so
updates.
Right. Description, geotag photos, the products and updates.
Yes. But on products, always making sure they link back. They link back to your website. Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. No, that is something I think is very doable for most people. And Tami has done many classes on how to set up your profile as well too. So just give her a shameless plug. I'm sure she'll have one of those and we can put it in the comments. But Ian, what are you going to do after listening to all this?
I'm already doing it. So I'm in here typing in what are the top 10 questions about real estate in ChatGPT, real estate in Texas from people who are ready to buy and sell their home, SEO optimize it, include how real estate agents and realtors are pivotal in the process, and write it as simple as possible. And I'm going to hit that. I'm going to take those questions and put them into not just my Google profile, but also my Bing profile and my Yahoo profile just to see. So because I noticed I didn't even have any questions. I was like, I've seen this question thing before. What do you mean I don't have questions?
The thing is, what you are doing too also allows you for social media posts. Now you have content you can throw in.
Right.
And we haven't talked about this in this podcast yet, but you can use bulk create in Canva and create a whole bunch of auto posts from your content automatically with AI in Canva.
So I want to talk about prompts just real quick for ChatGPT. One thing that I found is kind of helpful is if you're doing anything like this, make sure you prioritize it for people where even it's simple for people, even if English is a second language, because that increases the reach of this and increases the simplicity of the prompt. So like if I'm asking questions, like these questions can get pretty deep and like the information can be very granular and you're like, just make it simple. Well, if somebody's learning English as a second language, it has to be simple. And so if they're typing it in, you want your results to come up even more. So I think prompting it with English as a second language.
I also think it depends on who you're targeting and
It is. It absolutely 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I'm definitely going to do the products. That's my takeaway from today because I just have the houses. So I love that idea. And when I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to get my team to help me with it. I so appreciate it. So, Ian, what do we always say in this podcast?
Oh, this is the time. First, let me say thank you so much, Tami, for coming. This
Yes.
was awesome. I think it'll be a
My
huge
pleasure.
value for everybody. But Melody and I always say, don't let indecision
be the
decision. Really important.
And thank you so much, Tami. And now you can Google her and
Absolutely.
you can find just Google her. Bye, everyone.
Bye.